Hey everyone, Leslie Spicer here from Balanced Body Studio. I am joined again by a fellow level 4 and sport FST specialist, Mike. Mike and I met in September, so it's been 3 months since we've come back from our level 4. So I wanted to talk to Mike a little bit about, he also is a massage therapist and he's been doing that. How long have you been doing that, Mike?
Over 18 years.
Okay, so you're a vet at the massage, and so I wanted him to speak on because I'm always referring clients to massage therapy or chiro or any other therapies that I find mesh really well with FST, and I just wanted to get Mike's perspective because he does do both, to share a little bit kind of how that has benefited his clients and kind of how he kind of intertwines the two. So Mike, I'll let you kind of take over and give us a little bit of your background maybe and where you are, and then we can kind of dive in.
Yeah, my name is Michael Ortiz Jr. I've been a massage therapist since 2006. Um, yeah, and I didn't actually even get into FST until 2021. I signed up for a class in 2020,
Yeah.
but I had got COVID like 20 days before the class started.
Right.
But I didn't get tested. Like by the time the class, like I canceled it. My other therapist was going, and she was like, just come. I tried to email him like, hey, I'm over the symptoms. I'm 19 days past, no response on the weekend, so I just drove down there with her
Yeah.
and just showed up to class like, hey, here's my test results. I'm 13 days away from being tested, 19 days
Yeah.
from first symptom. And they're like, sorry, we can't because you're not 14 days past
Oh,
tested. And so I drove back home. That was December, but then I went back to a class in March.
yeah.
And um, my other therapist, I had another therapist who did the class who loved it, and she did a session on me, and I definitely felt the difference in the results. Like I've been doing massage, and I've had lower back pain for years, and for 2 weeks after she did the stretch on me, it was different than I had ever experienced. Right?
Mhm.
I remember in the session, like, hey, I don't even feel that stretch. Like you can keep going. She's like, chill. Like you don't.
Yeah.
That's not what we do here. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, I'm open. Um, but I was reporting back to her just the results, and I was like, yeah, my lower back hasn't hurt for 2 weeks, and it's normally like something that is there all the time.
Yeah.
Now it was a big improvement, but when I actually got to class level one, we it was still around COVID, so we worked with one partner the whole time,
Mhm.
every for 5 days. I think we might have split up one day on the fifth day, but otherwise it's the same partner for 5 days, which I've never worked on somebody 5 days in a row, 4 days in a row. Um, I think it was day three where we did the hip opener move where you sink into the iliacus, and then lift that up.
Yeah.
And the guy, he's like, "How was that?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bro, I felt nothing." Right? Like I have no feedback for you. It didn't feel like anything. I barely felt you touching me.
Yeah.
But when I got up, um, I had no pain. Right? Like I tuned in for a second, and my lower back pain there was nothing. It wasn't like, oh, it felt good.
Yeah.
Right. Or it didn't feel good. It didn't feel bad. There was just a nothingness, is how I describe it.
Mhm.
And so I started crying because I can't even remember the last time I felt nothing in
Mhm.
my lower back. And that pretty much sold me.
Yeah.
I was like, how does something that feels like nothing work this good?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And
became,
yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up because I think we get a lot of clients that say, go further, you can go further. But, one of the things that they've taught us is, less is more. Right. And I think people need to realize, sometimes, backing off less is more is a huge principle and no pain, right? That's not the point of these stretches is not to
mhm.
get to the point of pain or discomfort because that totally negates what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So pretty much from there, I became obsessed with it.
Mhm.
And every time I come back from class, I'm like, we're doing stretching.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like a whole month that I'm like, I don't even know if we're gonna do massage this month.
Right.
But I end up getting back into it. Like there's been nothing that has made me want to stop doing massage completely. I
Yeah.
will say until level four. Level four is the first time that I was like, I could possibly just do FST
Yeah.
and let go of me calling myself a massage therapist. That's
Hmm.
the first time that's ever been a thought.
Hmm.
Um, But I still think massage has its place, and stretching has its place, and I'm glad I have both,
Mhm.
and I'm glad I can address things because there's things I like to stretch for better than massage, and there's things I like the massage for better than the stretch.
For sure. For
You
sure.
know, my shoulders being one of them. I
Yeah.
like an elbow in my shoulder.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if you don't put an elbow in my shoulder, I'm probably not coming back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Now, have you noticed a difference, like in terms of the results with the clients that do both versus that just do the massage or just do the stretching? Like, have your clients kind of said anything kind of that stand out for you?
yeah. I mean, easily the results are better with the stretch,
Yeah.
as far as how they feel and how long they feel good.
Hmm.
Easily. Now, there's again, they want both because they're like, well, the massage feels amazing,
Yeah.
right? They're like, I love the way the massage feels. It's relaxing. It feels really good. And we do get results with massage,
Yep.
but it's not as good as when you're lengthening the tissue. And I usually show my clients this on the table. I'm like, here's massage. Like it's very local, right? So like if I push on my sheets on the table. I'm like, if I push on this sheet, you can see the area that it affects in the sheet, right? It's not very far. But
Mhm.
if I pull this and twist a little bit, you can see how it affects the area all the way up to the top of the
I
table.
love that.
And that's how I show them
Yeah.
even the difference between massage and stretch.
Yeah.
And I've had this thought of like, massage therapists are like, oh, if I push on the spot, it affects everywhere. I'm like, does it though? Does it really? I mean, maybe sure a little bit, and sometimes, but not nearly as potently as the stretch. Not nearly as um, I don't even
Global,
know the right.
more global, like global.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just so clear that when I do stretch a limb, that they're gonna feel it all the way up to their neck.
Yeah.
Versus if I push on their hamstring, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe it might go there and you might feel something, but I don't think it's as prominent.
Yeah. But like you said, I think there's place for both, right? Like even
Yeah.
myself, I still do my monthly massage because I do find it does complement, right? Especially like say like you're lifting or you do a sport, you get these trigger points. Like massage is great, right? For somebody to kind of get right in there and then, the stretch helps to kind of maintain whatever the other. That's kind of how I explain it to people. Like I like go like massage is great, chiro's great, all of the stuff's great. But what I think is what stretch does, it kind of maintains what they do, right? It kind of amplifies what they do and vice versa, right? So I think everybody's got to kind of find their recipe. It's kind of what I tell people, right? So that's really good. So it's like that was thanks for your insight on that because I did want people because people are always asking me like, what do you think I should do more of or what's better? And I said, to be honest, I think both are great, both have their place. You just have to figure out, what is going to suit your body and what you feel you need. Because sometimes you might need more stretch, sometimes you might need more of the massage, right? So
Yeah,
like whatever
100%.
right?
And I
So
think there's areas that the massage can get that the stretch isn't going to get.
okay, so like can you give an example?
Well, I like this. Like if somebody has upper body pain,
Yeah,
neck, I mean, we can get like stretching. The stretching is there,
yeah,
but I feel like there is a missing piece sometimes,
okay,
and I can get more detailed into an area specifically.
right,
So I like the massage better for detailed spots,
right,
and then the stretching, like you said, is global.
yeah,
Massage is more local, so that's why I really like having both,
yeah,
especially and then for the back as well. Like I like massage better if I have back pain.
right,
I still maybe want to stretch in there, but I'm gonna do more massage for upper body. And my head goes like lower body, stretch easily. Upper body, if you're having pain there, probably a mix of both.
mhm,
I still want the stretch in there, but I'm gonna go to massage first.
yeah,
Just because it's smaller areas. I still want to do the stretch, but it's a lot more detail work in
yeah,
those areas, I think.
yeah. And
And
that's why
that might just be a personal preference, but
sure, for sure. And that's why like I have, I've always obviously believed in massage and I have, my one or two massage therapists that I'm like, I tell my clients, I'm like, this is going to work for you, but you also need to get those detailed spots like you'd mentioned. So when they do the both, that's when I personally see people come back and like, oh my God, like how did I not do this before? Right. So
Mhm.
so that's definitely a fair point. I totally agree with that. Mixing the two is, and each person's going to be a little bit different depending as well, right? So, cool. So thank you for that. And the last thing I just wanted to talk about because I'm huge on prevention as well. Like I love getting those clients too that are coming in that because there's not necessarily something wrong or hurting. It's just they're really wanting to focus on, their mobility as they get older. And that's kind of the clientele that I have. I have a lot of, golfers now and, people that are retired that want to keep doing their activity pain-free, right? So, I think, FST is one of the best treatments that you can get for prevention of future things.
Mhm.
What is your point of view on that, or what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, of course, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Um, and I think a lot of people, they don't even realize that they're in pain
Hmm.
until they don't feel the pain anymore. Like
Right.
they'll be like, "Oh no, I'm good. I'm actually not in that. I'm not in any pain." And then they get a session, and then they're really not in pain. They're like, "Oh, I had no idea that I felt like crap."
Yeah. Yeah. Or yeah,
You
or
know?
like I get like, oh, I didn't know I was tight there until you stretched
Right.
me, right? Kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah,
And that's
yeah,
good. That's the goal with everybody, even if they do come in with pain. I tell them, I want to get you to the point where you're coming in because you want to, not because you have to.
mhm,
And that's my goal with everyone. The issue with getting people in when they're not in pain, though, is because there's not a real motivation for change. Um, but that's ideal because I think for most people, pain is inevitable. Just life, gravity on you, sitting down. Even if you're active, there's eventually going to be something. Um, even like I preach, like when you work out, like you shouldn't be in pain from your workouts, but it's so difficult to not push it a little bit harder than you should one week or
yeah,
something like that. So I think it's pretty inevitable, and I do believe that people need to be better at the prevention piece
yeah,
because it really sucks
yeah,
to be in pain and to have it affect your life so bad that you can't do anything for the next 2 weeks,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I always want to, and my clients say this all the time. I always use the phrase, think about what your 70, 80 year old self would want you to do right now. Right? So like when you don't want to go do that workout or go for the walk or do that 5 minute stretching, like think about yourself 20, 30, 40 years from now. You know, what you're doing now is your body and yourself will thank yourself, right? Like, oh, thank God I started doing that preventative or that stretching stuff, before it got to the point where I was immobile and it really was kind of to the point of no return, right? Like I tell
Right,
people your 30s and 40s, that grace period gets small, right? Like you have to like kind of dial in, you have to kind of make it part of your lifestyle, part of your routine, to incorporate stretching, mobility, lifting weights, walking, right? Because if you want to be strong and doing those things as you get older into your, 50s, 60s, 70s, as pain-free as possible. Like you said, I don't believe you're going to be pain-free with nothing ever, but manageable. I think that's the goal, right? Where it's not interfering with the quality of life and your ability to move, right?
yeah, because like this is what I tell my clients. I'm like, a lot of places preach, oh, like once a month is good. To me, that is the maintenance phase. That's like if you're coming in once a month, that's where you're at to maintain feeling good. That's the time frame that you should be coming in. If you're in really bad pain, like constantly every day, all day, we might want to do twice a week
Yeah,
until we can get you to a point where we can slowly back off from there, or
yeah,
once a week. If it's moderate, comes and goes, then maybe it's every other week for a little bit until we can get you to that point. But a 30 days of like life, I feel like after that needs some sort of touch up, some sort of, oil change, if you will,
yeah, yeah,
and if you're like, I've met people that they're like, dude, I do not have any pain. And for those people, I might recommend come in as needed.
yeah,
But it's such a small percentage of people. Like I've only met a few. They're
yeah,
like, legit, I have nothing.
yeah,
And when I push on spots, they're like, no, it doesn't hurt. Just kind of feel. I'm like,
yeah,
interesting. Okay. In your case, as needed. If you feel something starting to come on, try to come in before it becomes a real issue.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
totally agree with that.
but
No,
it's
that's
super rare.
yeah, no, it is, it is. All right, Mike, I totally appreciate your time today. I know it's a busy time of year and, getting ready for Christmas and stuff, but tell everybody here where you are because in case anybody's in your neighborhood, any of my network, maybe they can come find you for a massage, stretch, combo, whatever it is they want.
Yeah, I'm here in Las Vegas. You can find me at massagecustoms.com. You can follow me on Instagram at massagecustoms 2.0 because my other one got hacked. So that's why. 2.0, or Michael Ortiz Jr. on Instagram or TikTok as well.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate your time. And yeah, we'll see when we see each other next. Maybe are you going to head out for the party next
In
year, the
October,
25th anniversary?
it's definitely in my mind.
Yeah. Well, it's
It's
easier for you.
definitely,
You're a lot closer.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll
My
see what
wife
happens.
and I, we have
Yeah.
big financial goals this year, so we'll see if I'm able to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to team up on something maybe one of these days because I do like to go to Vegas. So
Please hit me up if you do.
I definitely will. All right, Mike. Thank you so much for your time.